What is up, everyone? It is MMA Propaholic, and I am here live to break down UFC Vegas 74 for my full card breakdown and predictions. Yeah, guys, it's been 2 weeks. I think we got 13 weeks of fights in a row, so it's definitely going to be hard working. I'm really excited. I'm actually pretty excited for this week's card. I see a lot of violence actually sticking out right now as I've been kind of looking in the lines more and looking more into these fights. But let me sum up 2 weeks ago. It feels like a while ago. I'm gonna sum up my losses and then I'll sum up my winning bets and the amount of units I put on each. Nick Fiore, I lost half a unit on him at plus 100. I lost half a unit on the under 2.5. I got an early at plus 125 on that fight as well. So I lost a unit on that fight. Lost on a sprinkle on Shabazian by KO at plus 950, round one. Had Demopoulos inside the distance at plus 350, and that was probably the worst bet I've ever made. I had Fialo round one KO at plus 800, saw that being his only win condition. I had a parlay fight doesn't go to decision with Garimbo, that missed. And I had the Hernandez fight doesn't go, that hit, so went 1-2 on that one. I missed the fight doesn't go to decision in the Dern Hill fight for half a unit at plus 106, which probably should have ended about 20 times. What a performance by Dern, though. I mean, she kicked the absolute shit out of Hill, man. She was just suffocating her. And I also lost the Urbina by submission at plus 400. That one kind of stung because I was actually going to bet him inside the distance as well, but I just saw the plus 400 sub being a better line to bet him at. And yeah, he was showcasing his jiu-jitsu, but got the ground and pound, looked dominant. And the wins I got, I had the under 3.5 from the Rosenstrike fight and had Buckley to win. I got that minus 114, cash for 0.71 units. I had the under 2.5 in the Leonardo da Silva fight, cashed that for 0.71 units. I put a unit on that at minus 140. The Mahashate Borshev fight doesn't go to decision. One of my bigger bets on the card, put 1.1 units on it, cashed at minus 166. And I had the Shabazian Hernandez under 2.5 for a unit. I probably should have went harder on it, but I didn't. And yeah, guys, went up 0.060 units on that card. So yeah, only a total of $6.97. I saw a lot of people crushed it. I saw DFS by the numbers crushed it. I know Lou Betya crushed it. I know Uncle Weezy crushed it. I saw Paul Dow, who was actually on my show last week. I think he went up like 11 units, guys. So go follow him on Twitter. He crushed it as well. So yeah, everyone crushed last week's card. So I felt great for everyone. I was very happy for everyone, but I was a little bit disappointed in myself that I didn't go harder on the spots that I really liked. Like that under 2.5 in the Shabazian fight, I probably should have went 2.5 units on it, and I probably should have straighted the fight doesn't go, but I didn't. And yeah, guys, this is a new week. This is a 13-week stretch, a whole summer of fights. So yeah, guys, I'm ready for this card, and I'm even ready for next week as well. But we can get straight into this card. Let me just pull up my Tapology. I'm pretty sure I already know the first fight of the night, but I just want to make sure. We got Maxime Grisham versus Felipe Lins. And yeah, Grisham, I think Grisham's gonna be the better striker here. He's pretty low volume, but the guy's pretty damn heavy for light heavyweight. He actually came in against Jacoby, came in like 6 pounds overweight, dropped him in the first round twice, and stunned him in the second round, but then he kind of tended to fade, and Jacoby kind of took over at range and was using his kickboxing, and Grisham kind of shows me like he's a pretty good striker. He's pretty powerful. Like when you close in range, he will touch you. He feints his high head kick very well, and that's what Felipe Lins kind of like leaves himself open to. And yeah, Grisham's a tall guy for 205. He's heavy. He can grapple as well in the clinch. I've been hearing people saying, well, he's Felipe Lins just gonna keep taking him down and he's going to hold them down. William Knight, I understand William Knight's not a controlling grappler, but like the guy weighed 218 on going into that fight, and possibly on fight time, he possibly weighed like 230 pounds. So he probably had about 20 pounds on Grisham. And then Tybura, who's literally a top 10 heavyweight in the UFC right now, had about like on fight night, you could probably say up to 50 to 60 pounds. So he was able to hold them down. Like, it's a pretty heavy weight differential, and the guy's not a heavyweight. and he kind of prioritizes in 205, which I do like to see. And like I said, the guy's got power. Guys, his last three losses are to Ankalaev, Tybura, and Jacoby. Those are all ranked guys. Now we got a guy in Felipe Lins who we know has suspect cardio. The guy does hit pretty hard, won the PFLs, kind of looked like shit since. And his last like his last eight cancellations, seven of them have been from him pulling out. He was supposed to face Grisham after he beat Pragnell, and I understand why people are impressed. Like, well, he went the whole 15 minutes. He pushed himself through the fight. I mean, guys, Pragnell is a karate style fighter, has terrible takedown defense, and has about the same amount of cardio as Felipe Lins. And yeah, he was taking him down, but he couldn't hold him. His hands were on his knees in the third round, got dropped at the end of the second round, and he just looked fatigued, man. He looked terrible. And he went out there and starched OSP, but he went like 8 of 47. He threw 47 significant strikes in about 50 seconds. So I don't know how this guy is going to come into this fight. I don't think he can wrestle Grisham for 15 minutes and hold him. Grisham's a pretty big guy for 205 and has some pretty good takedown defense as well in him. And he can also win minutes in the clinch. And Felipe Lins, like the first time that Tanner Bozer touched up his chin, he knocked him out. He knocked him out clean, landed like a 7-punch combination. And we didn't see Felipe Lins until a year and a half until he fought Pragnell. Got through 15 minutes, landed 4 of 11 takedowns, but only gained up like lower than 200 seconds of control time. That's about like 2 minutes on 4 takedowns. This guy's not a control grappler either. So I don't really see how he's going to hold down Grisham like he held down, like how Tybura held down Grisham. Like, I just don't see that happening here. So what I actually did was I tracked it and I have a bet on it. I actually didn't post it on Twitter yet. I'm going to post it after. I went low on it. I didn't get the best line, but I did bet Grisham money line. I bet him at minus 140. Put just 0.77 units on it. Don't want to go too crazy on this fight. I just feel like if Lins tries to close the distance and he's throwing a bunch of haymakers, like he's going to get knocked out. And OSP was just standing there and not throwing any strikes. And Arlovsky was I understand Arlovsky. Like, Arlovsky was able to have better cardio than Felipe Lins, who was like, 34 at the time? So, and now Felipe Lins is like aging at 38 and can't even try to get into any fights with just all these cancellations. So, I know people got in on Lins early at plus 140. You did your job, but I mean, at Pick'em, I mean, it should really be Grisham all day. So, yeah, give me Maxime Grisham. And I honestly think he knocks out Felipe Lins in the very first round, if I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. And I see the KO at plus 350 on Bet Online. And I already know FanDuel or Bet Rivers is going to give like a plus 400. And I'll be sprinkling that as well on top of my money line. But, can move on to the next fight. See who we got here. We got Luan Lacerda versus Damon Blackshear, and I'm really hyped for this one too. This is gonna be a very high level paced fight. I bet the under 2.5. Bet it at plus 165. Put 0.40 units on it. This is gonna be a very high level paced fight. Blackshear always brings it every time he fights. Very good cardio. Trained at Jackson Wink. I don't know where he's at now. Supposedly he's at like a performance center and he's just training with like a personal trainer. So that kind of just like concerns me because I don't know if he's getting the sparring sessions in the gym. And if you're not getting sparring sessions in the gym and you're going to start shooting takedowns aggressively against a guy like Lacerda, you're more than likely going to get submitted. This guy has a stripe. I don't know what stripe he is on his BJJ black belt, but the guy's damn lethal. I've watched him on regionals. The guy has multiple ways of getting submissions. He has very good sweeps. He has Kimura sweeps. He has heel hook sweeps. He even does like ankle lock sweeps. So like this guy is basically doing every kind of sweep in the book. And the guy's a Muay Thai based fighter. Been training with Jose Aldo, I'm pretty sure, up his whole entire MMA career. So this guy's been there, some pretty good talent. And when I look on the other side with Blackshear, it's like he's not even at Jackson Wink anymore. And I haven't really seen Jackson Wink like providing any winners in that gym in like, I don't know, like 5 years. So I feel like it's a pretty bad look for Blackshear. But I mean, he was in some. I understand he took the fight against Zalal on 5 days' notice, but guys, like Zalal's a white belt. He's a white belt in jiu-jitsu. He had Damon Blackshear's back about like 3 or 4 times in that fight, and threatened him with like 2 rear naked chokes, which I don't like to see. Blackshear's now a black belt. He actually got promoted to a black belt, and he was a brown belt in that fight. That was like a year ago. And now he's not even with Jackson Wink. And I went on his Instagram. I'm like, who the fuck gave this guy a black belt? I can't find who gave this guy a black belt, but I know Lacerda's a very high level black belt from very credentialed BJJ guys. So what I already said my bet. I bet the under 2.5. I think Lacerda is going to submit Blackshear, honestly. I think Blackshear could put the pressure on Lacerda, limiting him in his Muay Thai style. And what he was doing against Bassarat, he was kind of hurting him in the first. He was hurting him in the exchanges. He was just shooting sloppy takedowns. He didn't know when to mix in the takedowns and really when to mix in the striking. And if he makes a mistake here, puts his neck on the outside with a guy like Lacerda, he's going to get submitted. And I could see Blackshear breaking down Lacerda as well in the striking and limiting the Muay Thai like he was doing against Stamen. And Stamen was just backing up the whole time, man. Stamen was not pressuring him the way Blackshear is going to pressure him. And we're in the Apex cage too. So, yeah, under 2.5. I bet it at plus 165. It's plus 155 now. Still really like it at that number. And I'm probably going to bet the fight to end by submission as well. Picking to win this fight, I'm going to pick Luan Lacerda to win. And I'm going to pick him to win by second round submission. Could move on to the next fight. We got a fucking banger in Jinyan Fry versus Elise Reed. Yeah, I will not be putting any of my money, any of my hard work, any of my hard-earned time on this fight, but I have to break it down. This is my job, and I honestly, it makes me so sick to say it, but I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with myself, Moise. You like that? Moise on YouTube, Moise on Twitter really likes when I say I'm disgusted. He likes the way I say it. But I know Elise Reed's going to have the better striking here. I know she's more powerful on the feet. Jinyan Fry, 7 years younger. I mean, she is so low volume. And so is Elise Reed. And it's like, all Elise Reed does is the side kick to the body. And then she stands there with her hands down low. And she wants to bait you for her left hand almost. It's like every single combination that she throws, she's intended on doing that. I know she's training up in Jersey, but I don't know what gym it is in Jersey. Jinyan Fry just got brutally knocked out by Viana. But I know Viana's like a killer in round 1. That's how she fights. And I thought Fry won the Demopoulos fight, but I mean, Demopoulos. I mean, we just saw how Demopoulos looked against Kovacevic. She looked awful. She looked terrible against Kovacevic. Her striking looked terrible. And rewind Jinyan Fry fight. It's like, we all thought Jinyan Fry won, but it's like, the only reason why Vanessa Demopoulos won that fight was because of the pressure. And it was because she was landing the harder shots. Like, I know Elise Reed is going to land the harder shots here. I know she could probably close distance better. And Jinyan Fry, I think it's 9 UFC fights. She shot in like 6 takedowns. Oh, no, 6 UFC fights. She shot in 9 takedowns. So she just doesn't show me she's going to wrestle here. So it really does make me like your Elise Reed. I'm looking at Elise Reed by KO. I'm looking at her at KO 2, and I'm looking at her at KO 3 because I hate Jinyan Fry's cardio, and Elise Reed really doesn't have bad cardio at all. Like, when she's losing fights, she's just getting wrestled. She's getting absolutely destroyed on the ground. But I think McKenna is she's younger and she's tougher than Jinyan Fry, and the shots that she was landing on McKenna, if she can land those shots on Jinyan Fry, I think Jinyan Fry's going out. So I'm actually looking right now. I'm looking on fight odds. I'm trying to find Elise Reed KO 2 and Elise Reed KO 3. Let me see. They got Reed KO is plus 500. Wow. Reed wins round 2 is plus 1,000. Reed wins round 3 plus 1,800. So there you go, guys. Probably just found myself 2 sprinkle bets that I will be placing after the show. But I'm going to pick Elise Reed to win this fight. I'm going to pick her to win by 3rd round KO. I think her side kicks to the body, her side kicks to the leg, and her left hand is just going to be bad for Fry. I don't think Fry I just don't like Fry's also like I think she's running her own gym now too. So I really don't like to see that at all. So give me Elise Reed here and give me Elise Reed by KO in round 3. But gonna move on to the next fight. See what we got here. The fight that was supposed to happen that I had great money on and then lost all of it. Here we go. Daniel Santos versus Johnny Munoz Jr. And yeah, guys, I bet Daniel Santos, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, maybe it was a month ago. I was going to this card. It was UFC 288. I got Daniel Santos money line at minus 147 and had the under 2.5 at plus 125. And yep, fight gets canceled. I'm pretty sure it was Santos who had a problem with weight or he was sick. So I definitely was a little bit mad, but I was also happy that he kind of pulled out, so he didn't really fight injured with my money. We're seeing him here now. He minus 220 favorite, training at the Oliveira gym. Very, very high level pace. I mean, this guy broke down John Casadena, and that's what John Casadena does. Casadena is an absolute dog. Half of those shots that he was eating, I don't know how the hell he didn't drop. He ate about like 3 knees in a row and just kept backing up. It was really shocking to me. Santos can be taken down though. He has pretty good sprawls. The one problem I have with him here in this spot and at minus 220 is if Johnny Munoz can get his wrestling going and if Santos is so confident in his jiu-jitsu and especially training with guys like Alan Nascimento, training with guys like Charles Oliveira, training with guys like I think it was Mateus something. I don't know his last name. He was on this card. The fight got canceled. But these guys are just like I go to their Instagrams and these guys are just practicing like off their back. Like they're not practicing any get up. And Johnny Munoz is not a bad wrestler. He's not taking down the best guys. I'm pretty sure he's like I think he's like 7 of like 20 something on his takedowns, which is not that good. But if he can get Santos down here, he's a BJJ black belt as well. So he should be kind of safe on the ground, but there really is no safeguard when you're training with a guy like Charles Oliveira. So I think Johnny Munoz has to be very aware of that. But if he takes him down here and he controls him, man, Daniel Santos is not looking minus 225. I bet him at plus 175 in his last fight against John Casadena, and the guy almost died like 4 times in round 1. I was literally screaming, "Stop the fight!" And this guy just survived it, kept walking forward, throwing fucking bombs. Not even just nothing technical. He's just throwing bombs. This guy's got some serious power. He's got some serious cardio. And I really think if Johnny Munoz can't get him down, he's a dead man walking. Johnny Munoz does not have good hands. All he uses is low leg kicks. And he's just like, he just does not have good hands. He has pillow fists. He's not going to get respect from Daniel Santos unless he tries to take him down. And maybe Daniel Santos could wrap his neck and submit him if he shoots a sloppy takedown when he's tired as well. So how I'm looking to bet this fight, Daniel Santos is plus 105 inside the distance. I wouldn't get crazy with it and bet KO because this guy is training with Charles Oliveira, Nascimento. I just would not be betting the KO when it's in at plus 160 when his inside the distance is at plus 105. So give me Daniel Santos inside the distance at plus 105. I really like that. And I think he's going to break him, man. I know Bet Online is so shit with their props. I mean, they have round 2 plus 700 and have round 3 plus 800. It's like, come on, Bet Online. I mean, come on. That's how I would probably bet Santos here as well. Round 2 and round 3 is a really good look on him. But I think he knocks him out in the second round. I just really think he's going to break down Johnny Munoz, man. But if I was to play Johnny Munoz, I'd play him by decision, man. I don't know what his decision line is. And if you guys like same game parlays, just take Johnny Munoz and the over 1.5. You probably will get a nice number on that. So that's how I like Johnny Munoz if I was to bet him here. But he's a high dog here, man. These odds are a little crazy on Santos. So be careful with Daniel Santos money line. Like I think before fight time it's gonna hit like minus 260, and it's probably gonna get there. So Santos is my pick. I'm picking him by second round KO, but line is just too juicy for me, man. Can move on to the next fight. We got Andre Arlovsky versus Dontel Mays, and yeah, how do I start off? Harlovsky 44, Dontel Mays 31. We're at heavyweight. Split decision. That's how I think this fight ends. That's probably how I'm gonna bet each guy by split decision. A winner. I have absolutely no fucking idea who's gonna win this fight, but it's gonna be pretty hilarious. I will be laughing. I will be having my pen in hand. I will be having my 9.5 in hand, and it will be a great time. Because I am not betting heavy money on this fight at all. But Dontel Mays, man, the Hamdy fight. Oh man, Dontel Mays. I know a lot of people that week who got on Mays at plus 110 did a great job, and he closed minus 190, and it's like, all right, he's gonna go out there and smoke this guy, and Hamdy hurt him bad in the first 3 minutes, and Hamdy had no Hamdy had no cardio whatsoever, man. No cardio, and was able to take Dontel Mays down in the third round. Dontel Mays with these jumping knees. I mean, he's either watching John Jones. I don't know if he's training with him, but I mean, Dontel Mays needs to stop with jumping knees. It's just not going to work for him. And I bet Augusto Sakai in the last fight, and I mean, I was not happy with betting him, but I mean, I won money, so I was happy after it. He was just able to hold him up against the fence. Like, Arlovsky is not going to do that. And could Dontel Mays take down Arlovsky? It's possible. He could take him down, but do I think it happens? No, I really don't. I think this fight's going to play on the feet. I think it's going to be an absolute shit show. And picking someone to win this fight, oh man. I'm just going to pick Arlovsky. I'm going to pick Arlovsky to win this fight by split decision because it's an Andre Arlovsky fight. And this guy wants to fight until UFC 300 too, which is crazy to me. But give me Arlovsky by split decision. And gonna move on to the next one. We got John Casadena versus Mulan Gafurov. And guys, to be honest with you, I don't really know who this Gafurov guy is. I haven't actually gotten the time to film him yet. But I know John Casadena absolutely breaks down people. He has a pretty heavy right hand, has a wrestling wrestling background. And he has some pretty good BJJ as well. Miles John's pretty powerful, broke him down as well. Wasn't really scared to eat his power. And I mean, the Daniel Santos fight, like even losing that fight as a minus 185 favorite, he really impressed me in that fight with just the cardio, and he was hurting Daniel Santos bad. Like, if he hurts Gafurov the way he was hurting Santos, I think Gafurov's going to fold. But I know Gafurov is a killer be killed fighter. I know he has 17 of his 18 wins inside the distance, which, I mean, that is the definition of killer be killed. But this guy actually has never been finished, which kind of shocks me. This guy has 17 finishes and has not been finished inside the distance. So, yeah, honestly, guys, like on a betting perspective, I like the over here because I don't think either. I think both guys are just really durable. I think both guys are tough, man. I don't think any of one of them. I don't think they're gonna get finished. Kind of hoping the bookies sneaking over 1.5 out, even at 2.5. But probably take the poke at it because both these guys are durable, man. I picking to win this fight. I'm gonna pick Casadena to win this fight by split decision. But when Gafurov's winning his fights, it's inside the distance, so. Maybe the bookies screw it up and give Casadena decision only at a good price. Kind of hoping maybe. Even if it's like minus 180, minus 200, it really definitely is worth the lay. So give me John Casadena to win this fight by decision. Move on to the next fight. Pretty sure we're almost at the main card. We got Zaleski versus Nurmagomedov. Zaleski is that fight against Benoit Saint Denis. I mean, Khizriev. I mean, rewatched that fight. Pretty sure I rewatched it like 2 days ago, and I mean, this guy's Zaleski hits like a fucking truck. I'm watching his past fights as well, even against Salikov. Like, he is hurting Salikov bad, like really bad. Salikov is a really good striker, and he's been facing very high technical like strikers. Hasn't been facing any really high-level wrestlers lately, and he's going to be facing a high-level wrestler here in Bakar Nurmagomedov. Obviously, training with the Nurmagomedovs, training with Islam. Bilal's been sparring with him as well, so he's been getting the sessions in. And man, I mean, the clear path to victory for Nurmagomedov is to wrestle this guy, but I'm pretty sure Zaleski is a black belt. He isn't. I mean, this guy does. He's gotten some. They were talking about it in the Salikov fight, like, well, this guy's been in jiu-jitsu tournaments. He's gotten a bunch of triangle chokes. He's pretty nasty off his back, and I'm like, oh well. Bakar Nurmagomedov is getting submitted in the guard of David Zawada, and yeah, I think it's David Sawada. I don't even think he's a black belt. I don't know what jiu-jitsu level he's on. He could be a purple belt. He was able to submit Nurmagomedov. Got lazy in the guard, man. Left his arm out, and she just got trapped, man. He was like a minus 315 favorite, which is just terrible as well. Um, yeah. Oh, what's good, Skilly? Keep grinding, brother. I had great success playing parlaying. 7 fight doesn't go. Oh wow. Nice. Any fights you think that might end in the first? Seems like another over week. Um, shit. Let me look. Let me look for you quick. Any fights that end in the first round? Oh, I think Maxime Grisham knocks out Felipe Lins in round one. Um, I think Daniel Santos is very live for a finish in the first round. I even think the fight I'm breaking down now, Zaleski is definitely live for a finish in the first round as well. Like, this is when this guy's throwing most of his power. He's a very high level kickboxing game as well. Wouldn't shock me if he hit him with a head kick and stunned him and just throwing fucking haymakers at him. Any other fights who I think that are ending inside the first round? Caceres versus Daniel Pineda could. I really think they're undervalued. Like, the under 1.5 in that fight is plus 160. So fight doesn't start round two, it probably will be like plus like 225 or something. So yeah, those are the fights that I do think and that potentially could end in the first round. But the most confident one I'm in, honestly, is terrible to say, Maxime Grisham round one KO. But back to this fight, Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov is a good wrestler. I actually really liked his jab against Jared Gooden. He struck that whole entire fight up until the third round. Nurmagomedov is not a bad striker. I was really impressed with it. Yeah, it's a strong jab. He has a good left hand. He fights out of southpaw. Has pretty good leg kicks, and he mixes in his takedowns very well. The problem that I have with him here in this spot is I don't know how long he's gonna want to stand with a guy like Zaleski, who has absolutely just harsh leg kicks and has fucking hands. He's fucking bombs. And guys, I didn't know that he wasn't in the UFC. He just re-signed with the UFC today, I was like, wow, this guy wasn't in the UFC. Maybe because he was so fucking pissed at Kizriev. Like, I think I heard it on Stat Diggers. Uncle Weezy said it on I think it was yesterday. Or could have been Sunday. He said that he punched the wall when he walked out. So yeah, and I saw he got signed again today, and I'm like, oh well, he definitely must have. I mean, I would have been pissed off too, man. I mean, credit to Saint Denis. I mean, I think he's a French Navy guy, and I mean that guy is some fucking durable. I mean, holy shit, man. If Zaleski hits him with the shots and he hits him with Nurmagomedov is gonna fold, man. And I had Carlston Harris in his against Nurmagomedov, and Nurmagomedov pulled out. I'm pretty sure he had a bad illness, so yeah, that's just something to keep in mind too going into this fight as well. But pretty sure we're at the main card now. We got Jamie Malarkey versus holy shit, I can't pronounce his fucking name. Get the cameras out, get the screen record. I'm gonna fuck this up bad. Hoofa Muhammadjan Namav. God, that was terrible. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. I'm at work today, and I see that Guram, I'm pretty sure Guram pulled out with another injury, which is crazy to me. I feel bad for the people that parlayed him up, man. I really feel bad for the people that parlayed Guram, and now they have to sit with their either minus 200 straight bet, or they have to sit there with a minus 170 straight bet, and they beat the lines, and they got it like 2 weeks ago, or got it 3 weeks ago, or even got it yesterday. It's annoying. Shit sucks, man. Shit happened to me with 2 weeks ago. I forgot who that was. Oh, I had Evlov against Bryce Mitchell, and he pulled out. And I had Chaos Williams in a parlay. Should have not won that fight though. But back to this fight. I like Malarkey, man. His last fight against Prado, I had the under 2.5.
was like probably my biggest. It's probably like one of my bigger under 2.5 bets I've ever had. I think I had like 1.7 units on it at like pretty sure like minus 110. I just slammed it, and man, I was in disarray, man. I was completely shocked that that fight didn't end inside the distance. Malarkey went out there and used his wrestling, which I really have never seen him do. But that's also because Prado's getting taken down on the regional scenes. Um, Prado's just not good takedown defense at all. And he had him in a pretty bad Kimura. I think it was a Kimura, or it could have been an armbar he had him in that fighting guard. No problem, Skilly B. Thank you for tuning in, man. Always appreciate you. Always see you in the Discord as well and on my Twitter. Appreciate your support, man. Thank you for coming in this early. I know, guys, this is early start time. Maybe I'll go to 6 o'clock. Yeah. I don't know who this other guy is. I have to do tape on him before I really give a full breakdown of him. But I'm looking at his Tapology now. Has 5 of his 8 wins inside the distance. He's coming off a head kick knockout against Dylan Shuletti, I think like 3 months ago. And this guy Dylan has been finished in every single one of his losses. This guy's never been finished. And I went into a Jamie Malarkey fight last time and bet the under blatantly before I did the tape on Prado. And I was definitely mad when I saw that when I was watching the fight. And I don't really want to do it here once the line comes out because I just kind of got burned on it last fight. But Malarkey's minus 500. Jamie Malarkey went from plus 275 guys to a minus 500 favorite. Minus 500. If you guys like Malarkey to win this fight, I mean, parlay him up. But Jamie Malarkey at minus 500 is just something you do not want to parlay. The guy eats punches with his face. He's tough, but it's just not a guy you want to lay minus 500 on at all. Maybe this could be a spot like 3 weeks ago with the Journey Newson. I forgot who the guy was, but it could be like the same exact spot here. But I'm gonna move on. I'm just gonna pick Malarkey to win. I don't really know anything about this other guy, so yeah. I do know a lot more about this fight. We got Kareem. This is the first fight I actually taped for this card. We got Karine Silva versus Ketlin Souza. And when I first saw the under 2.5 and it was minus 105 in a Karine Silva fight, my jaw kind of dropped. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm taping this fight first. And because I taped this card like 2 weeks ago, guys. On the off week, I taped this card. And Silva, man, Silva is the definition of killer be killed. And I'm looking at Ketlin Souza. What's up, Dave? Thank you for popping in, man. Souza's last 3 opponents, guys, like Gisele Moreira is 42 years old. Then we go to Maji Suwatama, who is 37 years old. And then we go to her last opponent in Kristen Williams, who is 33. And if you guys go watch the Kristen Williams fight, Kristen Williams has 0 pop to any punches. She probably had like the worst striking I've ever seen from a woman. Like in any woman's MMA fight, her striking was awful. It was doing absolutely of just nothing. And Souza picks her shots. She's pretty low volume. But she hasn't faced anyone like Karine Silva, who I think Karine Silva, I'm not going to her Tapology now. Karine Silva has finished every single one of her wins inside the distance. Just finished Poliana Botello, and Poliana is not easy to finish. And she landed a nasty right hand. Right, that was a knockdown, guys. That was a right hand into a knockdown, and then she was able to, within like 30 seconds, to just wrap up a Darce. Karine Silva is the definition of killer be killed. She is straight violent. And would it shock me if Souza finished her? No, not at all. Because Ketlin actually has very good body kicks. She really likes to wear opponents down that way. And she doesn't have pillow fists. She has pretty good hands. And Karine Silva even on the Contender Series, she was just getting popped, man. No striking defense whatsoever. And she started her last fight a little slow. And about 2.5 minutes in, she lost her composure and she went ape shit. and she set up a beautiful overhand right straight up into that Darce choke. I really like violence here. Guys, I have been annihilating women's MMA violence. I'm gonna post a stat later. Pretty sure in like my last 10 women's MMA unders, I'm pretty sure I'm like 9-1. So this one this one I really like. I'm probably gonna double down on it. I only put 0.60 units on it, but I'm not, I mean, I'm just shocked. I'm shocked the line is still minus 110. I really am. For a girl like Karina Silva, who literally lives by kill or be killed, you're getting close to plus money on an under against a girl who has faced nothing but pillow fists and 35 to 40-year-olds. Yeah, give me the under 2.5 all day. And I'm picking Karina. I think Karina Silva can knock this girl out. I really think she can. Her KO prop is plus 800, which is bonkers to me. And yeah, that I really like violence here. One of my more confident unders that I actually have on this card. Can move on to the next fight. See what we got. Here we go. We got Tim Elliott versus Victor Altamirano. And yeah, I'm gonna start. Tim Elliott obviously going through some tough shit, man. I feel for the guy, man. I mean, that is a whole fucked up situation. I saw Dan Best Fight Picks posted it, and it was a picture of after his win with against Unalabekov, and I didn't even realize it because usually after like I see the film and I know who wins the fight, I just back right off it. I don't really watch them get their hands raised, but I see that it's a picture of him, Gina Mazzani, and Kevin Kroom, and it's like, you fucking dirtbags. I mean, really, you dirtbags. I don't mean to sound like it on my channel. I don't mean to like curse like that, but you dirtbags, man. I mean, come on now. But it's tough for Elliot. I feel for the guy. What's up, Glenbot? How you doing, man? Appreciate you stopping by. Victor Altamirano. I don't think Victor Altamirano is a bad fighter, honestly. I bet him in his last fight against Salvador, and I remember watching the fight and just like, what the fuck are all these spinning heel kicks? Why is this guy throwing so many spinning kicks? And then I rewatched the fight on tape, and then I'm just like, wow, like all these spinning kicks are just gonna get him taken down against Elliott. Like all of like Altamirano's movement, basically, and how flat-footed he is on the feet, really leaves him like very open to get taken down. And yeah, he's a BJJ black belt, guys. This guy's been submitted 3 times in his amateur career, though. And he has been submitted by Jared Brooks. And I know in his Contender Series fight, Candelario, who actually didn't fight for a whole entire like 3.5 years, came back and was known for just being a striker. Came in there and wrestled Altamirano like he was a D1 wrestler. Like he was able to get him down whenever he wanted in the first round. Second round, the takedown defense improved, but guy was still getting held up against the fence. He was getting taken down. And then fast forward to the Lacerda fight. Like, this is Daniel Lacerda. I mean, Daniel Lacerda in high elevation. 8 spinning leg kicks in less than 2 minutes. I take nothing out of that fight. 0 of anything. And then I go to the fight against Salvador. Fight's very good against Salvador. Salvador is an absolute killer on the feet. Guy throws bombs. That's not Tim Elliott, though. Tim Elliott's gonna push the pace. Tim Elliott's gonna take down Altamirano. I've been seeing him tweet the whole weekend that he wants to knock out Altamirano. And I even saw a tweet today by him, and he's in an interview. And what do I see as the headliner? Elliott with a bad knee problem. With a knee injury. And I'm like, is this guy really talking about a fucking knee injury on an interview podcast? Like, I kind of want to listen to it because I have Tim Elliott. I have his money line. I bet him early. I bet him at minus 155. I think he's like minus 180 now. I probably would not touch Tim Elliott at minus 180. Like, as Glenbot has here below, Tim Elliott by decision is probably the best way to play his price tag. But I don't know what Tim Elliott by decision is. But I don't see Altamirano being the guy who, like, as Tim Elliott's been facing guys like Nicolau, guys like Askarov, guys like Kopp. I mean, he's facing the best guys in the division. And what has he been doing? He fades in those fights, but it's like So does Altamirano, man. Like Altamirano fades as well. The guy switches stances a lot in the first 2 minutes of the fight, and you could just tell when he stops switching stances and when he tries to get comfortable in one stance, he kind of realized, like, holy shit, like, I've been fucking switching stances for the past 2.5 minutes, and I haven't picked one stance I want to fight out of. And if he's really thinking a lot like the way I see him thinking in fights when he first starts off against a guy like Elliott, and he falls behind, he is going to be drained. He's probably going to get 30-27. And I could see Elliott, as Glenbach saying by here, getting his hand raised easily by decision. So my pick is Tim Elliott by decision. But can move on to the next one. Pretty sure we're 3 more fights away. Oh, yes. We got Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon, and the narrative of the week is, oh, well, Jared Gordon, he just got knocked out by Bobby Green. He got knocked out bad. Like, it was, but, like, would the UFC schedule him to fight if they knew he was injured? I mean, I understand what people are saying, but it's like, I feel like that's why some people are on Jim Miller, and, like, I'm watching the film on Miller. Miller's now 39, I'm pretty sure. And when I'm watching his film, it's easier for him to win these fights against guys like Mata, movie star Donald Cerrone now, and Eric Ghost Pepper Gonzalez. And I'm going to describe the Gonzalez and Mata fight. They were both touching him pretty badly. And it's easier for a guy like Jim Miller, who probably has 30-something or 30 UFC fights over these guys, to make the reads on the feet, make the adjustments on the feet, and be able to finish these guys. Eric Gonzalez, not a good grappler, not a good wrestler, got Jim Miller down pretty easy with no resistance, and was kind of winning minutes there until he gassed himself, until Miller made the read against him. Jim Miller his last seven wins are inside the distance. If you're on the Jim Miller side, just bet his finish only prop. I think that's a good way to bet him. But would it shock me if Jared Gordon finished him? Not at all. It wouldn't shock me at all. Like, I really think people are underrating Jared Gordon here because of this random knockout that happened against Bobby Green, which was an illegal headbutt. And he did eat some hands after it, but it was a headbutt. And Jared Gordon won against Pimlet. Fucking take the L off their Tapology. Screw you, Dana, for that. You're a complete jackass for that. And looked good against Leonardo Santos in high elevation. Jim Miller's cardio now, he took a lot of damage in that last fight against Hernandez. Guys, Alex Hernandez has never had the cardio to push what he pushed against Jim Miller in 3 rounds. He did it and looked like he can go another 2 against him. Jared Gordon has terrific cardio. He's been getting taken down by high-level grapplers like Grant Dawson, Joe Selecki, who he actually beat and was able to control him and take down Selecki as well. Jared Gordon at minus 165 is fucking crazy to me. I think he should be minus 300. I really do. And I think if this headbutt knockout wouldn't happen, he probably would be minus 300 here. I really feel like in this spot, we're getting such a buy low spot on Jared Gordon. Could Jim Miller submit him? I mean, maybe, but Jared Gordon is a very, very, very high level brown belt. It's under a very high level coach at Renzo Gracie. So, and at Renzo Gracie Philly as well. So he has a very high level brown belt. He possibly could be a black belt now. I've been trying to look and find it. It would not shock me, but guys, I think Jared Gordon can break down Jim Miller. I think he could take him down. I think he can win by decision. I think he can win late. It wouldn't even shock me. Jared Gordon has been knocked out 4 times, but it's like, I don't think it's going to take Jim Miller to land one left hand to knock out Jared Gordon the way he's been making reads against guys like Nicholas Mata, who've been hurt against Charles Johnson, and making reads against guys like Eric Gonzalez, and then beating Donald Cerrone, who's like a fucking movie star now. So, yeah, give me Jared Gordon by a method. Pick him by decision. But it would not shock me if he really finished his fight. Can move on. Pretty sure we're at the co-main event. We got Daniel Pineda versus Alex Caceres. And yeah, really, I'm really glad the UFC gave Caceres a main event. Especially at the co-main event, especially after like 26 fights in the UFC, man. This guy's been around the block for a while now. Um, Kind of on the same side with Daniel Pineda as well. He used to be in the UFC back in 2016. Thing I'll say about Daniel Pineda now is he did not he did not look good in that win against Tucker Lutz. Tucker Lutz looked like dog shit. I don't know what Tucker Lutz came out of in on that fight. He looked terrible, man. Um, Pineda has some heavy inside leg kicks. He demolishes the front leg. Uh, Loads up on all his shots. Doesn't really have a jab at all. Everything is right hand loaded. Everything, like, he likes to kick your lead leg and kick the inside leg. He kind of rarely kicks the outside of your leg. He really throws a lot of heavy inside leg kicks. Mixes in his takedowns. Has pretty good submission defense. But that was kind of tested against Herbert Burns, who came in 4 pounds overweight and was completely death gas within 3 minutes of that fight. So I don't really take a lot out of that because his muscles were weak and he wasn't at his full best. What's up, Justin? Thank you for popping in, man. I like Gordon as a parlay piece. He due for a win. Yeah, man, I completely agree with you. And I was actually gonna parlay him with Mike Malott coming up because I already taped the Mike Malott and Adam Fugit fight, and that parlay pays out to like I think like plus 130. So I might be getting there as well, Justin. I really like him as well as a parlay piece. But back to this fight. I like Caceres' striking, man. Like he had a really the feint he made against Julian Erosa, man. That was a sexy knockout. Julian Erosa's chin, it's gone now. It's just gone. I kind of agree. It's gone now. Caceres has some pretty good damn grappling though. He takes the back very quickly. Like he's trying to take the back of guys standing up. He took the back of Sadiq Youssef in like the first 25 seconds of the round. Almost got him out of there. He's like a plus 215 underdog. Lost 30-27, but this guy can take the back, man. Got knocked down. I think it was like twice against Su Wong Choi. And Daniel Pineda hits hard, man. The also thing about Daniel Pineda is probably has like I would probably say like 5 minutes of cardio. And it even showed me in his last fight, like he didn't look he didn't look like he had a lot of energy against Tucker Lutz at all in that fight. He didn't look like he had a lot of energy at all. And Tucker Lutz tapped out like I think it was like 5 seconds into that guillotine. He just tapped and said, "Fuck this." And yeah, you pick it. Glenn Boss saying Alex ITD or round 2, round 3. Yeah, I don't hate it, but Daniel Pineda in round 1 is something that I will definitely be having my eye out for. Guys, this is my most confident under 2.5. Fight doesn't go. Probably of the whole entire year so far. It could be a considerable max bet for me. If I get that under 2.5 and it's within of a minus 170, under minus 200 price tag, I'm possibly going to put 3 units on it. I don't see how this fight. I don't see how this fight fucking goes to decision. And if it goes to decision, they're probably gonna have to fucking cart Daniel Pineda out of that stadium, out of that Apex Center. I like Malott. Justin saying I like Malott too. Canadians' only hope right now to keep Canadian MMA alive. Jourdain messing up. I wouldn't say Jourdain messing up. I lost a big bet on that Jourdain fight, man. I had violence, and Jourdain was just playing the right way, man. He was in Kron Gracie's guard. He couldn't do anything too risky. But yeah, I actually really like Charles Jourdain. I'm pretty sure, Justin, he's either fighting Barboza or Billy Q. But I think he's fighting Billy Q in his next fight, which should be a banger. Hey, what's up, CT? Props. Sorry I'm late, my guy. Nah, you good, man. We all got things to do. I'm very early. I actually started at 5 o'clock. I'll probably be going live at 6 for now on because I always forget about like Pacific time and then forget about Western time as well because I'm on the East Coast. But yeah, thank you for stopping in, CT. Always see you in the Twitter spaces as well. Always liking my Twitter posts. Always talking in Discord as well. It's always glad to have you here, man. But yeah, I'm gonna pick to win the fight. I'm gonna pick Caceres to win. Wouldn't shock me if he submitted Daniel Pineda. It would not shock me if he took Daniel Pineda's back and submitted him. But I think someone's gonna fucking die in this fight. Violence is my favorite spot on the whole entire card, and probably my favorite under of the whole entire year so far, depending at what price we get it at. messed up bad last week, not max betting the Hernandez under 2.5, and that was my most confident under last week. I'm not gonna fuck it up this week, guys. I'm gonna put my mouth where my money is. So yeah, guys, I get you. But even if he winning, the people he fighting don't get him anywhere. Yeah, I guess so. Uh, we could move on to the main event of the evening. Really hyped for this main event. I really like this matchmaking. We got Kai Kara France versus Amir Albazi. Yeah, guys. Kai Kara France out of City Kickboxing. Really great. Really heavy hands. Has shown me in his fights though he can get taken down. He even hurt Cody Garbrandt twice, coming down from just a brutal weight cut, coming down shinless. And Cody Garbrandt, after those 2 knockdowns, was able to wrap a double leg and get Kai Kara France down and literally hold him there for about like 10 seconds as well, which kind of concerned me. Askarov, I thought Askarov won that fight, guys, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. And like when Kai was brawling with Askarov, Askarov was touching him up, man. I was really shocked. I'm like, holy shit! Like Askarov's hurting him in these exchanges, man. I was a little shocked. And we know what Askarov does. He's gonna take you down at any will. He doesn't want to be on the feet. And Brandon Moreno is Brandon Moreno. Kai looked really good in that fight against Brandon Moreno up until he got knocked out. But one of his main weapons in that fight, which is going to be very limited here, was the leg kicks. Albazi has a very tight stance. He has a lot of movement, and he's really good on the outside with his striking. I don't see Kai at distance being very likely for him here. And then I go to the other side of Albazi. Yeah, his competition is not where Kai's is at, but this guy's fucking skill set, I think it's better than Kai Kara France's, man. Like, his all-around MMA game, like, I think Amir Albazi is a future flyweight champ, guys. I think this guy's the real deal. And I think after this fight, they should book him versus Muhammad Mokaev. That's really the fight I think they should make. I would love to see that fight, but I like Albazi, man. This guy's making terrific reads on the feet, and it's like, well, he was starting low against Costa. Why would he put himself at risk when he could just jab him up with his jab, win the minutes, and stop the takedowns, and find his way in order where he can land these big, powerful punches? And he did that in that round 3. He set up that uppercut so well, and actually wasn't conventional, and threw a right hand into a jab and then leaned up with an uppercut. Like, this guy's making multiple switches on the feet as well, which I love to see. Has a very high grappling level pace. He's always walking forward. Does get a little reckless sometimes. His corner was telling him to chill in the Zamagulov fight. Like, in the first 3 minutes, he was getting crazy, and he was getting touched up against Zamagulov. But guys, I like Albazi here. I think he's all around the better MMA fighter here. I think he can mix in the takedowns, and people are just saying, well, if he's on the feet, he's fucked against Kai Kara France. Like, no, he's not fucked. Kai Kara France is not a fucking world beater on the feet. He's knocking out Rogério Bonifim, and then he's knocking out who did he knock out before that? He knocked out Bonifim, knocked out Cody Garbrandt. Like, guys, those are his only 2 finishes in the UFC. Cody Garbrandt, chinless, and Rogério Bonifim. We got Glimbot saying the Albazi sub and the under 3.5, maybe. I don't hate the under 3.5. I see it's plus money. Personally, I would just wait for DraftKings. Bet a 4.5. You'll probably get close to like pick 'em money. The Albazi sub, yeah, man. I really like the Albazi sub. But the one thing I will say about Kai Kara France's jiu-jitsu defense, Bonifim is a very serious, high-level grappler. He's competed in like multiple jiu-jitsu tournaments. I don't know what stripe he is. He might be a 3-stripe, but he was heavy attacking his back in round 1, and he was doing everything in his will and kept putting him on his back, and he couldn't submit Kai Kara France. Albazi is very smart with his controlling. Maybe a late sub on Albazi. I don't really see it being early. Like, if I see Albazi winning this fight early, I think it's a knockout. Like, I think Kai Kara France is really going to overload himself and put himself into bad situations where he just doesn't want to be with Albazi, man. And I'm watching Albazi fight these 3-round fights, and after every single fight, they're like, well, this guy can go another 3 rounds. Yeah, he definitely can. Also, I forgot to put in, he's training with the Rock guys as well. And if you guys know that that big black dude with the braids who's in the corner, I call him T-Pain every week as well. I'm pretty sure I posted it on my Twitter. Guy looks exactly like T-Pain, I swear. I really think every time I see him, it's T-Pain, and I scream T-Pain. But yeah, I really like Albazi here. Glenbot saying that's fair. Yeah, I think it's fair, but I mean, could he sub him early? Yeah, he definitely could. I mean, this is MMA, man. Anything could happen. Kai Kara France. I feel like if you guys were to bet Kai Kara France here, just bet him by knockout, man. Don't bet. I don't think he wins a decision against a guy like Albazi at all. I just don't see it being possible with this guy's grappling being very high level and his wrestling being very good as well. So I'm gonna pick Albazi. I think Albazi to win this fight by KO, man. I'm gonna pick him to win by second round KO. I I really think he's got the power. I think he's got the pop, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on Albazi skill set because of the competition he's been facing. And it's like, I completely understand where you guys are coming from with that, but it's like, because I see people backing up Kai, and it's like a lot. It's just because, well, the competition. I mean, of course, but I mean, we got to stop saying the competition is really big for me when I do bet MMA. Especially when I'm betting money lines, obviously. But when I see someone's skill set, man, and I see something out of them, and especially like a guy Albazi, he's dominating every single one of his fights. And the guy is high level, and he has been asking since the Zamagulov fight. He's like, why the fuck am I not getting a top 10? He's like, I want a top 10 guy. And the UFC's like, well, slow down. We want to build you up. We're gonna build you up. And they built him up to this main event. And guys, I think the UFC is setting them up here. I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. I thought the UFC was setting up Durden last week with Angela Hill in the small cage. I think they're doing the same thing here with Kai Kara France as well. Like, they even put Kai Kara France up against Askarov. Like, to get his title fight. So it's like, I just think the UFC is setting them up, man. But Kai always lives in these dog moments, man. It's obviously not, it wouldn't shock me if Kai knocked him out, but I like Albazi. Bet him at minus 115, and I bet him for 0.61 units. This is a parlay I don't want to bet, but I feel I could. I feel I should. Casadena, dude, Albazi, and Gordon. I mean, I like all three to win, but you should just Justin, you should just straight Albazi. He's actually an underdog right now. I think he's like minus 105 on BetGM. If you have access to that, maybe just parlay Gordon and Casadena. If you like Casadena. I think Gordon, dude, I think Jared Gordon is a really safe parlay piece this weekend, guys. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, it's probably one of my more confident money line picks of the card. But yeah, guys, 8 people here. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Just went through the whole card for UFC Vegas 74. Gave a full card breakdown and my predictions. Tomorrow I'll be having a Couch Warrior pod. I'll be having him on here to break down this card as well, give his predictions. We'll be breaking down the card as well. I think I'll set for maybe 6 o'clock. I don't want to start when other shows are starting and like get other people messed up, because I know other people like to watch other people's content, and so do I as well. I'll actually be tuning into Probability. I think in about like 2 hours, I'll be tuning into Probability on the MMA engine. But yeah, guys, thank you everyone for tuning in. Got another 13 weeks of fights. I'm gonna be also thank you, Kiwi. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate you. And good luck to you, Justin, as well. Guys, I'm just gonna let you guys know, and then I'm gonna head out. I'm 5 fights in the UFC 289. I'm gonna finish it in 2 days, and I'm gonna aim to get the solo breakdown out by less than Friday. UFC 289, my bad. I just think it's a card that we all need to just get into early, because I'm looking at this card, guys. I think a lot of these lines are going to get hit. And I've already hit 2 money lines. I have all my unders written down as well. And yeah, guys, I'm ready. Got 13 weeks of fights. Got fights this week. It's almost Wednesday already, so we're almost halfway through the week. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. Drop a like, comment in the comment section below. If you guys are watching after the live stream, I'll be posting timestamps as well, so you guys could just skip around whenever. But thank you to everyone who tuned in live, and have a great one, everyone. Thank you.